When is the playground will be fixed?
In the coming days, the work is started.
Hmm?
We've started work on that finalized. You can start it.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته أمسينا وأمسى الملك لله رب العالمين اللهم إنا نسألك خير هذه الليلة فتحها ونصرها ونورها وبركتها وهداها ونعوذ بك من شرها وشر ما فيها وشر ما بعدها. So, inshallah, before we start answering those questions, just inshallah, a reminder to myself and you that tonight is the beginning of the month of Dhul Qa'dah, and this is the 11th month in the lunar calendar, and is one of the sacred months. So we have 4 sacred months, 3 are together, this one, Dhul Qa'dah, and Dhul Hijjah, and Muharram, 11, 12 and 1. And we have Rajab by itself. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it a blessed month for all of us and to increase our iman and our prosperity and our Islam inshallah. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take away this pandemic from us and take all evils away from us and give us, inshallah, serenity and peace and tranquility and health and iman. And also, subhanallah, in this month people are preparing for Hajj, but it seems that maybe there is no Hajj. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept from the people who made the intention, and this is the beauty of Islam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward you according to the intention if you cannot do it. There is nothing to be done in this month. It's like any other month. You can do the good deeds and increase your, as I said, good deeds as much as you can. So inshallah we go with this question. The first question, it's been asked many times, and this is a good question. How can I tell if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with me? Very simple. If you are doing what Allah wants you to do and staying away from what Allah wants you to stay away, and you believe inside you that Islam is the deen of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the best, and you are pleased that Allah is your Lord, and you are pleased Islam is your way of life, and you are pleased that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is your prophet, and you do what you have to do and you stay away from what you have to stay away, and you love all the Muslims for the sake of Allah, this is a sign that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is pleased with you. Does not mean that this person didn't commit mistake or sin. Yeah. And if I can add, after what I said you need to do and stay away and so on, when you do mistake, repent. Don't insist. Repent. Immediately say astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh, and have the intention not to do it, and inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be pleased with you. Allah be pleased with you has nothing to do with the dunya. Well, if He is pleased with me, He has to make me rich or healthy. No, it might be the opposite. The Prophet ﷺ said, when Allah loves somebody, He will test them. So don't equate this with this. Does not mean if the person is not rich or not healthy, they are bad Muslims or this. No, and vice versa. How are we going to continue combating racism in our community after the spotlight fades? And that is the philosophy that I'm preaching for a long time, and sometimes some people, either because they don't understand it or whatever, this racism, as I said, is a cancer, is a spiritual disease, like any cancers of a society. And you need 2 things. Without them, you cannot solve any problem. You must put a bandage, as I said. So number 1 is what I call, and this is a khutbah that I'm going to talk about because it's a continuation of the last time, either like in the medicine, the law of medicine applies to the law of if you want to change, are the same laws that you have to apply. If you understand the law of medicines, because medicine is to solve the problems of the health and the body, they are the same laws to solve the problems of societies. And one of them is racism. So in a medicine, we have what we call the emergency room. Even the hospital itself is an extended emergency room. So what does it mean emergency room? The job of the emergency room is to contain the problem, just to contain it. Somebody having a heart attack, asthma attack, whatever, they go, it's an emergency, they have to deal with it. And sometimes if they cannot contain it within 24 hours, they put you in the hospital. So the hospital is an extended emergency room for another 3 days and 4 days. But subhanAllah, when they release you, the first instruction, they said, follow up with your doctor to find the reason of the problem, why the problem. And subhanAllah, emergency room is 20%, 80% in the follow-up. Why these things happening? So people, out of excitement or whatever might be the reason, maybe lack of understanding, whatever, they are excited to the emergency response. And we have to do that. But not all the resources and energy to be put there, because you will not achieve anything. The same reason why that person went to the emergency room, he will go back again. At least you know the reason and you solve it from the root. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ did, by the way. Everybody agreed that there is a problem, there is this, and the Prophet himself. So the Prophet ﷺ was taking care of the 80%. If I can put it in another way, some people might relate to the second one, maybe more, is what we call non-urgent, important. Urgent and important. So when there is an incident, is an attack. Racism is an attack. Like the asthma attack, panic attack. When the attack happened, you need to deal with it through demonstration, through talking, through speaking, through rallying, through talking to politicians, through whatever might be in a civil and, as I said, legal way. You can do that. But if this is the only things that we are doing, we are coming back to the question of the brother or sister. It's going to fade. And look, now there is demonstration, they are peaceful, but they are not going to be reported in the news. Because the news, their policy, if it bleeds, it leads. So now it's not bleeding, there is nothing. So people, and especially Muslims, as I said, we need to bring something new to the table. And what is this new to the table? Is non-urgent but important. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ did. He was working on people, producing people. After 10 years, as I said, or 15 years, he came back and all those problems been solved. It's a systemic issue, and sometimes the laws and demonstration can help if only few people are doing the problem, they are racist. But when it becomes almost the majority, they are doing this, whether knowingly or unknowingly, you need to go with another approach. And by the way, this will help you even in your family. I always do an open buffet. Sometimes people are shocked when you have a couple, mashallah, happy couple with children, and mashallah, everybody maybe is impressed about them. Suddenly, the two of them start talking about, well, I'm not interested in the relationship, or I want divorce, or one of them say it. Where is the problem? Where is it? Of course, as Muslim, you know our first explanation, there is magic, there is evil eye. No. But these couples, and listen to this advice, you will not find it nowhere. These couples, they were working only on what we call urgent and important. And what does it mean urgent and important? So urgent and important. Like work, especially both of them, they are working, that's just something urgent. You cannot work. You have to work. And taking care of the kids, take them to school, bring them, take them to this event, to this game, to this, that, and that, and that. So the time, 100% is spent here. While people who knows what they are doing, this issue should not take more than 20% from the time of the couple. 80% should be spent on non-urgent and important. And what is non-urgent and important in this case of the family? To work on the relationship, especially between spouses. It will fade. Relationship need maintenance. And sometimes even those kids that you've been taking them everywhere and so on, suddenly there is an attack in the family. A child that he goes out and you start surprising. Well, I did everything for you. Yes, but you never did what is non-urgent and important, to sit with them beside the activities of the school, beside the games, to sit as father and the children, or as mother and children, or parents as the children. If you understand this concept, you will be successful in your life as individual, as family, as community. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ did. Even as individual. If you don't take care of the non-urgent and important, you're going to suffer even in your health, in your wealth. Non-urgent and important in the health, when you are young, don't think you are strong and so on. Have a lifestyle. Eat good, exercise. Look how many now, especially Muslim, I'm talking about my community. We start exercising when we get sick. That's too late. But as I said, we need to start talking about this stuff. Regardless there is demonstration or not and so on. At least we can get rid of it in our community through understanding and knowledge and tarbiyah. To tell people this is the number one, is a spiritual disease that clash with your faith. These two, they don't go together. And the Prophet ﷺ, he said, anybody who has this cancer, he will not enter Al-Jannah, even if he prays and fasts. Let's move to the other one. As I said, it takes many talks, and that's what we need to do, and this is the routine. When we are talking building the faith, it's not only talking about Jannah and Nar, it's talking about this. This is part of the faith. So many single Muslims in San Diego. MashaAllah, this is very general statement. I hope the person made some statistic and so on, so many. How can the masjid help them find each other? How do you feel about hosting more marriage-related events? Everything is okay, but the masjid, we don't do that for many reasons. One of the reasons, this is the responsibility. It needs some dedication. It needs a lot of stuff. And sometimes if it doesn't work, people might blame the masjid and so on. But we are doing it not in a systematic way that we have a committee and this and that and so on. Anybody who has an idea or wants to take this project, please send your feedback to the board and we can discuss it, inshallah. And if any idea is more than welcomed, inshallah. Can we get the playground fixed before the masjid opens up? Please, its condition before COVID was such, okay? What message are we sending to our kids? Please, the person with this question, be more positive. Because this kind of questions, it doesn't bring anything. It just makes somebody feel bad, but it doesn't solve any problem. Always, let's be positive when we say something. It could be, please, what can be done to fix the playground and this and that. But alhamdulillah, the good news, they are already starting the work on it. And the contract was signed and everything, and it will be ready, inshallah. So we are doing it not because what our kids are gonna think about. Don't have this way of thinking. You do what you need to do because that's the right thing to do. Whether the kids are there, whether they are not, imagine if there is no kids. So, inshallah, because I try to raise, inshallah, our way of thinking and talking, that like this can bring some result. Can the masjid provide respectable prayer space downstairs for older, handicapped, or pregnant women, or women with small children? Is cruel to go upstairs. I hope they are not from the same person, these two questions. Inshallah, as I said, because when the masjid was opened a long time ago, there was no elevator and so on. But we can, as I said, this is another idea. It can be presented to the board, inshallah. And by the way, everything is discussed in the board. And with the two imams, I want to tell you one thing, brothers and sisters. What is the difference between leadership and membership? Not the leadership, they are the smarter. No, it's impossible. There are many people that they are smarter in the community than those who are in charge. But the difference is one thing, that always the leadership has more information. Sometimes you might think, oh, this one should be done like this and that and that. But when you are in it, in the leadership, you see something else and this and that and that. That's why people are surprised. They think the experts should make the decision in the matter. That's not true. That's wrong. Like in the COVID-19, they said, well, doctors or people in the health, they should decide. That's wrong. Because they have one angle. They have one dimension in that. But the person in charge, might be the president, the governor, or whatever in our case, he has more dimensions. It's not about only one thing. It has to do with the economy, it has to do with this, it has to do with this, it has to do with this. And that is the difference. So the people in charge, they listen and they gather all the information. And when we talk, inshallah, in our khawatir, we will bring this from the Quran. It's only the Quran. The Quran can teach you everything. Otherwise, there is a contradiction. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He said, we didn't leave anything that we didn't mention in the Quran, either directly or indirectly. So, inshallah, as I said, most of the ideas, they are discussed, but sometimes either timing is not the right timing, there is prevention, there is that. But please, keep giving feedback. Inshallah, the board, I think it's easy. Huh? Yeah. So inshallah, as I said, and we will try to accommodate everyone, inshallah. Are there any restriction with niyyah to offer nafil salah? Example, can I make the intention to offer it to seek forgiveness, to be grateful, to seek support? Yes. If they are in the same category, yes. Or the prayer that is under the other one can enter. Let me give you an example. The sunnah of dhuhr and dhuhr prayer cannot combine in one intention. They can't, because they are separate. But now, when I want to pray, I made wudu, for instance, for dhuhr, and the time of adhan is already there. So I'm going to pray my sunnah, either 2 or 4. So that sunnah of dhuhr, I can include sunnah of dhuhr, the same intention, tahiyyat al-masjid, and the intention of the wudu, sunnat al-wudu. So I made 3 intentions in one. So if you understand this concept, it will help you a lot. How to raise kids in interfaith marriage? My spouse suggests the child should discover faith by himself and not be thought as if he is made to inherit it. I don't know what we're talking about. In marriage, in interfaith marriage, mean that a Muslim is marrying non-Muslim woman, because that's the only thing that is valid. What people are doing now is not marriage, is a fornication, clear in Islam, when a Muslim woman marry a non-Muslim. Period. It's not marriage. It's a fornication. Any children that comes from that, they are illegitimate children in Islam. So please, we want to be on the safe side and clear on that. So now what about in the other one? I don't know who's suggesting this. If the father, who's the Muslim, is suggesting this, is a disaster. Children, and you tell them discover. That is your responsibility. Allah will ask you on the day of judgment about them. They are trusting your hand. The Prophet ﷺ said that Allah is helping you as parents. When He gives you children, He gives them to you Muslims. كل مولود يولد على الفطرة. So your job is to help him or her to stay Muslim. Otherwise, you're going to fall under the warning where He said, otherwise his parents will make him Jew or Christian or fire worshipper. So I don't know what this, and sometimes we try to look good and to be civil. That's wrong. That is now how to be civil. That is now how to be wrong. If Islam tells you when you want to marry a Muslim, either man or woman, He put the conditions. When He spoke to the man, He said, if you want to marry a woman, فَاظْفَرْ بِذَاتِ الدِّينِ, look for the religious person. And when He spoke to the woman or her wali, He said, when somebody comes to you and you are pleased with their deen and their character. If that is the case within Muslims, what about outside? And I have cases, because many people, as I said, they are selfish when they get married. They are selfish and they are ignorant, and they pay the price later on. Not only them, the children pay the price. What I mean by selfish, they are choosing just for themselves. Well, if you are choosing for yourself, you're going to go just for the dunya, either for the beauty or the money. But who's going to be the mother of your children? Who's going to be the father of your children? Who? After that desire is fulfilled. And maybe you, that even you are selfish and you choose for your desire, that might lead you even yourself to lose your deen. So this question is very serious, as I said, and if the foundation is not solid and correct, don't expect the children to be the right children and so on. Oh, of course, there is exception to the rule. But garbage in, garbage out. That's what you're going to get. And the most important decision that you make in your life after embracing the faith to decide to become a believer is to get married. Married can make you or break you. So use your mind, don't use your ego. Many people, they confuse. They said, "Can you you should decide with your mind or with your heart." The mind and the heart, they work together. It's the mind and the ego. The ego look for things that really is not your benefit. It may hurt you, either for beauty, either for money, either for whatever might be reasons. And these things, subhanAllah, doesn't last. How can we answer parents who shame us for not having more kids? May Allah forgive them. Because as I told you, even in our, as a community here in America, we have a big chance. Because sometimes when I talk like this, some people might not like it or this or that. Look, at least we've been here 50 years. What is our impact? Nothing. Really, really. Nothing. And any community, especially minorities, if I use this term, I don't like to use it because I believe when you are Muslim, you are not minority, even if you are by yourself. Because Allah called Ibrahim Ummah, a nation by himself. Minority is if you are not on the truth, on the right path. But any minority and these things, if they want to have a future and so on, they have to take care of non-urgent and what? Important. That's why any community that really, for me, if I want to take example from them, even though for me the example is Rasulullah and the companions. Their experience worked till the end of time. It's always there. But for the sake of argument, if you want to take any experience, it's the experience of the Jews. Go see what they have done. These people, urgent and important, doesn't take from them more than 10% of their effort. 10 now. But 80% is on the other one. That's why you see the impact. You can see. Nobody can miss it. And look, subhanAllah, like other communities, if they can follow the same, then you have an impact. But most of the people are working on urgent and important. So you are always day by day, day by day. You don't have time to take care of other businesses. So this parent, as I said, shaming, it doesn't do anything. It just makes the person feel bad. Encouragement that makes the difference. Encouragement. Look the good things in the person and encourage them. But the parents, as I said, they are like anybody else. That's what they think they know. And this, may Allah forgive them. And please try to immune yourself from letting this shame has an impact on you. It can destroy you if you don't pay attention. And in a nice way, you have to tell your parents, please, would you stop shaming us about this? Now we know what to do, and so on. Otherwise, you can let me know who's this parents. I can talk to them, inshallah. When is the best time to read the last 3 surah of the Quran and wipe over the body? Can it be combined with Fajr and Maghrib adhkar? How is it done exactly? No, this one is done when you go to sleep. When you are in bed, you don't like this. And when you do this, you don't get out saliva. No, just 3 times, and you read the 3 qawls 3 times each one, and you wipe your body as much as you can, and you do this 3 times, inshallah. So I think we cover all these questions. Do we have anyone else?
Do I have to pay zakat al-mal on my home if it is paid off and is my primary residence?
Do I have to pay zakat al-mal on my house that alhamdulillah I paid off? Congratulations, man. You should be congratulated, your sister. Do I have to pay zakat on it? No. Even if you have more than one house that you are using them, one here, one another place, you are using them and so on, you don't pay zakat. You pay zakat only for things that they are being put for investment and trade and so on. Like you don't pay zakat on the cars that you have. You don't pay zakat on the furniture. If you have more than one house, a second house, and the second house is for rent, you pay the zakat on the rent. At the end, when your due date comes, whatever left from the rent, you add it to the cash that you have and other stuff, and you pay 2.5%.
The next question is, I'm a female back home. I saved some money and bought myself some jewelry. Am I obligated to do qurbani?
I am a female by herself?
She did.
Okay.
Engage back home.
A female that she's engaged back home and she saved some money
And bought herself some jewelry.
and bought some jewelry. Number one, this jewelry, if you bought them for investment, then you have to pay zakat in the due date. The second question that, sister, do I need to have qurbani? Qurbani is what we slaughter in this Eid, this coming Eid. The qurbani, as I said, is highly recommended, sunnah mu'akkada, yani highly recommended on the household, the father, that he slaughtered one sheep for the whole family. In this case, you are not. Yeah, you are included, inshallah, with your family overseas. If they slaughter, you will be included with them, inshallah. Khalas? And Allah knows best. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us to learn our deen. And please remember that rule that we talk about today. If you want to be successful in the deen or the dunya, you should have 80% of your energy and time in what? I know I cannot see you. Non-urgent, important. That is a smart person. And I give you the case of a family. That's why some families, suddenly there is an attack. I mean by attack like asthma attack, like heart attack, like panic attack. And people get surprised. What happened? Because all the energy and effort and time is being put in urgent and important. I don't want to talk about the other two because that will be a disaster. People who are spending their time in non-urgent, non-important. That is a disaster. Or urgent and not important. These two should not be even in our mind. But make this. And the change, if we want to do any change in the society and this and that, is the same. And inshallah we will talk about this more in Friday khutbah and other talk. But now you understand the rule. Apply it, please. Even for yourself. As health-wise, as deen, as finance, and so on. I know it's not easy if you are not used to that. But you need to do what you have to do, as I said. And you will see the result, inshallah, in your health, in your finance, in your family, in the community, in the whole world. And that's what the Prophet ﷺ did. Sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Jazakum Allahu khairan. Subhanak Allahumma wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.